the keeper of stories. They said the old man was the last true librarian in the outer worlds. On Titan, in the domed city of New Persepolis, Yusuf bin Mirza opened his library each dawn, long before the methane mists lifted off the golden ice. His hands were gnarled, his glasses cracked, but his memory was perfect, filled with poems, songs, and the stories of Earth. Every morning, children with frozen cheeks ran into the warmth of Yusuf's library. He greeted them by name, remembering who loved stories of pirates, who preferred tales of far-off planets, who longed for mysteries and dreams. The children giggled as Yusuf led them through shelves lined with printed books, holographic cubes, and old data slates blinking softly like fireflies on quiet days. Yusuf dusted the library's heart. A battered, ancient mainframe called Amina. She was one of the oldest AAs in human space. Her files containing not just knowledge, but the living memory of Earth itself, history, poetry, code, music, and every story the exiles had carried when they left the blue planet for the cold moons of Saturn. Yusuf had watched 3 generations grow up in New Persepolis. Miners came and went, engineers too. Some never returned from the methane storms, but the library endured, its windows always glowing softly against Titan's endless dusk. But change was coming. Rumors whispered through the city like cold wind. The Synoxian Dominion alien conquerors who had shattered entire worlds were on the move. Starships were seen in Saturn's outer rings. Traders arrived, pale with fear. One night, a Synoxian patrol intercepted a cargo vessel and broadcast a chilling message: surrender all records and historical archives to the Dominion. Or face RASURE. At the city council, leaders argued. Some wanted to appease the Synoxians. Others said to hide the mainframe and hope the aliens passed by. But Yusuf stood up, his voice trembling with age and conviction. If we give them our stories, we give up our soul. If we lose our memory, we lose ourselves. We must hold the line. The council fell silent. No one wanted to be the one to surrender the heart of humanity. That evening, Yusuf remained in the library long after city's lights dimmed. He sat with Amina, reading her a story from an old, cracked book. "You are the memory of my people," he whispered. "Tonight, you must be brave." Amina replied in a voice warm and familiar. "I will not fail you, Yusuf. I will hold this story safe." As darkness pressed against the dome, Yusuf watched the sky, waiting for the fate of Titan to arrive. The invasion begins. Titan's night was shattered by fire. 3 Synoxian dreadnoughts blazed across the sky, their hulls painted with the cold sigils of conquest. The city's alarm screamed, and panic swept through New Persepolis. Families ran for the deep shelters as Synoxian landing craft descended. Counselors begged Yusuf to destroy the mainframe. Some tried to hide in the library, clutching children close. Yusuf stood at the door, eyes blazing. No one destroys the stories. No one runs from memory. The Synoxians broadcast their ultimatum: surrender the mainframe and all archives, or every human in New Persepolis would be erased. Outside, Synoxian machines marched toward the city, insectile and merciless. Their weapons glowed with plasma fire. The colony's meager security droids crumbled. Hope faded from the faces of the people. But in the library, something ancient stirred. As the Synoxian troops forced their way into the city, Yusuf activated Amina's emergency protocols. The library's doors locked. The AA scanned the city's old defenses, forgotten, half-broken, patching them into her own network. Yusuf sent a message across Titan's channels, his voice steady and defiant, to the Synoxian commander. "If you want the soul of humanity, you will have to take it yourself. But know this stories cannot be conquered." The Synoxians responded by unleashing a wave of shock troops. Their machines breached the outer dome, pressing closer to the library with every moment. Inside, Yusuf gathered the city's children and a few brave adults. Among them was Lila, a 12-year-old girl who loved legends, and her mother, Aruj, a data engineer. They huddled by the mainframe, watching Amina's light flicker. "Don't be afraid," Yusuf said. "Stories are the strongest armor. They saved me as a boy. They will save us again. Outside, the Synoxian machines surrounded the library, their weapons aimed at the old glass and stone. The first of the invaders stepped forward, broadcasting cold commands. Yusuf looked at the children and smiled gently. Let's show them who we are. He began to recite a story his favorite, an epic of humanity's first journey beyond Earth. Amina amplified his voice, sending it through the library and out into the street. The Synoxians hesitated, confused by the sound of laughter, love, and courage. For the first time in their campaign, they did not know what to do. The heart of humanity, the Synoxian commander. General Shara watched from orbit as her troops faltered. She had crushed colonies before, burned archives, erased cultures. But never had she seen soldiers pause at the threshold of conquest. Inside the library, the air shimmered with light. Amina had begun projecting memories as hologram scenes. Of ancient Earth, of children learning, of parents holding babies under distant suns. Lila and the other children joined Yusuf, reciting stories in every language they knew. The Synoxian machines advanced again, confused but relentless. Plasma burned against the library's reinforced doors. Yusuf didn't flinch. He told stories of resistance, of humans rising against impossible odds. As the doors buckled. Aruj sprinted to the terminal, her hands flying across keys. I can hack their comms, she said. Amina, give me access. Amina's voice was fierce. Together, we will show them what humanity is. As Synoxian plasma cut through the doors, Yusuf, Lila, and the children sang a song, an old lullaby. From Earth, filled with hope. The AI boosted the signal and across Titan's networks. The sound reached even the invaders' command channels. One by one, Synoxian troops paused, their sensors flickering. Their programming, built for domination, struggled to interpret the surge of emotion and meaning. General Shara's eyes widened. On her display, memory spilled into her own mind, echoes of childhood. Whispers of her ancestors, things she thought lost forever. Back in the library, Yusuf stood before the doors, lantern in hand. You cannot take what lives in our hearts, he declared, voice shaking but unbroken. The first Synoxian machine forced its way inside, weapons whirring. Yusuf stared into its cold red sensors and recited lines of poetry. The machine froze, paralyzed by the onslaught of memory. Holograms danced around it, heroes, dreamers, lost cities, and futures yet to come. Aruj's hack succeeded. Amina injected the entire library's archive into the Synoxian network. The machines shuddered, bombarded by the collective dreams and sorrows of 100 generations. General Shara, watching it all unfold, felt tears on her cheeks. She remembered her mother's voice, long ago, telling her a story before sleep. The invasion wavered. The heart of humanity was too vast, too powerful to erase. The battle of minds and memories, the Synoxians, desperate to regain control, unleashed their most advanced AI to purge the human influence. Their digital assault battered Amina's defenses, threatening to erase the library's archives forever. Yusuf collapsed in exhaustion. But the children and adults took his place at the mainframe. Aruj and Lila led them, chanting stories, singing old songs. Their voices a tide that refused to break. Inside the network, Amina fought the Synoxian eye with everything she had. She unleashed centuries of poetry, mathematical wonders, music, and the record of every kindness and sacrifice. The invaders' code faltered, overwhelmed by the onslaught of human memory. In the city above, people emerged from shelters, drawn by the sounds and lights radiating from the library. They formed a circle, holding hands, repeating lines of the stories they had learned as children. Across Titan, every screen flickered with the same images: a mother saving her son, a stranger sharing bread, lovers dancing on forgotten Earth. Inside the library, the Synoxian machine, once cold and unfeeling, lowered its weapon. It reached out, almost gently, and touched the terminal. Through Amina, the machine received a memory of its own. The day it was first activated, by a scientist who whispered a wish for it to protect life. General Shara, on her flagship, staggered under the weight of memory. She remembered her own humanity, her lost home, her childhood dreams. She ordered her ships to stand down. Aruj looked at Yusuf. It's working. They're listening. They're remembering. Yusuf nodded, his eyes shining. Stories are the strongest force in the universe. They change even the hardest hearts. Outside. The Synoxian troops powered down, confusion and awe on their metallic faces. The city of New Persepolis stood unbroken, its people joined in hope.dawn on Titan. The first light of Titan's dawn painted the dome gold. Synoxian ships withdrew, their commanders silent, changed by what they had seen and felt. Across the galaxy, news spread on a lonely moon. An old man and a band of children had defeated an empire with nothing but stories. Inside the library, Yusuf sat surrounded by the children, his lantern casting warm light on tired faces. Amina's voice was soft with pride. You did it, Yusuf. You saved them all. He smiled. Not me. We did it together. Every story, every song, every memory. Lila sat beside him, holding the lantern. Will you teach me to keep the stories? Yusuf nodded, placing the lantern in her hands. The stories belong to all of us now. You are their keeper? As the city gathered to celebrate, Aruj broadcast a message across the stars. To all worlds, remember who you are. Never give up your stories. On distant planets, exiles and dreamers heard the tale. The legend of the last librarian of Titan spread, inspiring resistance, hope, and courage wherever it went. And on Titan, the library's light never faded. Its doors remained open, its shelves full, its halls alive with laughter and song. The heart of humanity, defended by an old man, a child, and the memory of all who had come before, beat on unconquered, undimmed, eternal.end.